Hello, welcome back to Age of Empires 2 Definitive Edition. Today we're going to be playing the final scenario of the Pachacuti campaign, Like Father, Like Son.
You are still quite young, my friend, the old man observed, smiling amicably. But look at me. At some point your hair will turn gray just like mine, and your hands will become wrinkled as well. A king will also grow old one day, even if he is the son of the sun. Pachacuti knew that he needed a capable successor to sustain the state that he had built. There was only one man who could be considered. His own son, Tupac Yupanqui. Tupac Yupanqui seemed to have inherited his father's military skills. He already bore the title Apu Kispai, leader of the imperial troops. To test his mettle, Pachacuti gave his son the command of the campaign against the Chimú Empire. The Chimú were not to be underestimated. On the coast, they had built a magnificent city called Changchang, whose splendor rivaled that of Cusco itself. Massive canal systems fed the city with fresh water, and magnificent pyramids adorned the city. Chimor was quite wealthy due to the droves of slaves harvesting gold from the abundant sources nearby. The discipline of its military was the stuff of legend. The people of Cusco anxiously awaited the outcome of the campaign against the remote coastal kingdom. Would Tupac Yupanqui succeed in completing the work of his father and bring the expansion of the Inca to a dignified conclusion?
Okay, so to win this scenario we need to take out the blue player, but similar to the previous scenario there are a number of smaller players on the map, and we are very much incentivized to take them out before we actually go for the main attack against the blue player. The hints tell us that we're limited to a population of 180, which seems like a really odd number to choose, but okay. And we are encouraged to take on the green player and take over their base. I have done a kind of 10-minute test run as usual, and I've kind of figured out how that part goes at least, but after that I'm not too sure how I'm going to play it. The scouts report a number of different things, but basically we should definitely go to the 3 orange players, and we can then, once we get the chance...
My general, we asked the inhabitants of Pachacuti for hospitality, but they refused to grant us entry into their city.
The leaders of the Pachacuti are fools to think that they can oppose the Inca. We will see to it that they get what they deserve.
So I'm not going to pretend I don't know about the couple of monks that you can grab from right here. I will go and pick those up, and we're going to take this rather large force and send it towards the opposing base, the green base, which we are going to take over. I need to actually single out my Eagle Warriors here because there will be a few onages to worry about, and those could really do some nasty damage to us, so let's make sure that we absolutely are prepared to rush those before they can do too much damage to the rest of our units, as the monks are on their way. Bring the eagle up. There is some stone there which we can gather up some resources from later on. We're going to need that. As like usual, we are going to be building quite a few castles. And if we just follow this path, we will soon find the green base. We can see it just up here. We have to take out 4 of these guys, the chieftains. I think there is an incentive to not take down the buildings. So we do have to have a little bit of a think about that, because if we do take down the buildings, we could be in some trouble. I'm going to send these forward now because I'm fairly confident we will soon encounter an onager, and I think we should take that out before it can do too much damage to us. First one goes down, second one I'm going to move towards as quickly as possible. Send the rams forward. And we also have to look out for our main hero. If he dies, unlike the previous scenarios, that will be game over. Let's bring everyone back together. This is a little bit too open right now. Try and heal up a bit with the monks, and we will attempt to convert a couple of plumed archers or something like that. I can see very dangerous looking onager right there. Let's try and avoid that. I think we've mostly managed to do that, so that's good. Did lose a monk, but that's fine. I've taken a few losses here, but it's okay. We're going to go and take down this gate, and we will attempt pushing to the base, destroying as few buildings as possible. The main one we have to think about is the town centre. On my test run I did take out the town centre, and I'm pretty sure we don't need to do that, and that does just waste a lot of wood and stone. So let's try to avoid that. Lots of villages here that we should be able to take on reasonably easily. And have we left some guys behind? No. Okay, this is everyone we have. A couple of extra archers we can bring up. There are some pikemen coming in, but that's fine. We'll focus those down. And these towers alone aren't going to be able to do too much to our rams. And I'm not sure if we should take out the towers, but we will carry on doing that just for now. This monk is going to convert this guy right here. And we can see the first chieftain. Let's focus him down. So he's actually walking away. I think he's in defensive stance or something like that. But yeah, we'll focus him down. And we will bring up the rams just to absorb some of that arrow fire. And second guy is right up here, and then third chieftain is here, and fourth chieftain is here. So if we can just stay away from the towers, I think that might be okay. Focus this guy down. Try and keep the rams alive if we can. We are going to get slightly focused down here. We have lost a scorpion, but that's fine. 2 more guys left to kill off. Send our hero in. So we should be out of range here, of the town centre at least. Take out this chieftain. We pretty much lost our whole army, but that's fine. This guy has 300 HP and 20 attack, so he should win the fight. Rams are still just about alive. We'll try and rescue what we have left of that. Scorpion, I think, is going to get destroyed. But yeah, our hero is going to win that handily, and everything should very quickly turn to our side. There we go. So that was worth doing. We have managed to keep...
established a foothold. We can continue our attacks on the Kingdom of Chimor.
We have managed to keep the bulk of the buildings alive. The monastery is pretty badly damaged, but we've still got a tower alive here. A couple of archery ranges, a couple of barracks, and most importantly we've got the town centre still intact. So I think, even though we did lose a few more units than we perhaps needed to, I think that's pretty much okay all in all. Let's keep checking for idle villages, and in fact I'm going to send one immediately to start gathering up the stone, because as usual, just having a large number of castles is a very nice insurance policy. We've got 5 free villages here. I think for now we'll just put them on wood and get a few upgrades if we can. So we've already got access to elite skirmisher, so let's start pumping those out immediately. And I will get the halberdier upgrade. It might seem a little bit premature, but we don't really have too much gold available to us, so I think it makes sense to nip that in the bud. We don't have any eagle warriors. I will build 1 eagle warrior just for the sake of doing a bit of scouting. This guy I'm pretty sure is just a scout. As with the previous maps, I don't think we're going to get attacked too badly if we don't actually attack the opponents ourselves. I will check for the main hero. You can see fishing ship of the Chimú Navy right there. Should take that out pretty soon. Yep, it goes down immediately. And he will start sending over his ships, but that's fine. I think the castle can handle everything that's going to get thrown at it.
Chanchan lies in the middle of a desert. The inhabitants only survive because they draw fresh water from cisterns that lie outside of the city.
I see. If we can take control of those cisterns, we will greatly weaken the defenders of Chanchan.
It looks like purple does actually have a few infantry units. A little bit surprising. But yeah, let's go around with this guy and just see if... Well, let's see the different directions we can be attacked from. So there are some shallows here that we could potentially wall off. And there are some further shallows right on the edge of the map. So I think if we wall those off and build a castle next to the bridge, we should be pretty safe from attacks. There's a bit of extra stone there too, just enough for another castle. So let's send a villager just over to wall that stuff off. So we're going to put our first wall up right here. You just drag it over this little space, and I'm pretty sure they won't attack through there. Similar to the previous scenario, they pretty much just ignored us.
Has become wealthy through trade. We should plunder its port to wrest valuable resources from the defenders.
Yeah, in the previous map, they pretty much just ignored every way in that wasn't completely open, so I'm hoping once the wall goes up, they will start to filter everything towards this bridge, and that should be a lot more manageable. Let's actually redeploy these villagers, so we're going to put most of these guys on wood, I think, because we will start building a few fishing ships. I'm going to ignore pretty much every announcement that I'm being attacked by the navy, because each time it's just going to be an attack on the castle, which is not actually going to be an issue. And let's make sure we just keep producing lots of skirmishes, because we should be able to easily provide the resources for that. This guy slightly risking putting himself in some trouble there. There is a bit of extra gold, which I could definitely be tempted to go for, because we really don't have access to much over here. I will send another villager across to start gathering that, and I'll send this guy once he's done. We put up another wall. We can just minimize the cost here, that'd be great. That should work, I think. Right, and this guy is just going to keep exploring. So it's pretty obvious that this is the first cistern that we should try and attack. I would like to build quite a few trebuchets before we go for that, along with some extra siege to help defend. As we can see, a couple of keeps. We're getting a rough measure of the actual size of this base. So, wow, we actually got taken out there. That did not take very long. Okay, we'll see how long it takes to reach it from the other side. I would like to ideally drop a castle pretty close to it, possibly right outside the walls. We're going to need some serious support though, because they are going to come at us with siege. I'd mostly like to just throw halberdiers at the opposing siege, because with gold being fairly lacking here, we might not really be able to earn enough to justify pumping out loads of eagle warriors. Champions would obviously be better, so if we can go that route, we will. A bit of extra stone there, potentially, as our eagles have been killed. Okay, I think we've seen enough, that's fine. We can start actually thinking about launching the attack pretty soon, dropping a castle. We'll keep producing the villages. We should actually put up a second town centre, I think. We're going to be producing villages for some time. Let's go with... I think we should stay fairly close, so we'll go with this location right here, and looks like I did queuing wrong, as this guy is now doing pretty much nothing. Okay, I'm going to put him on gold, and we'll move another guy across to finish off the wall, and we should be pretty safe now to actually set up a proper army. So once again, yeah, the castle's just going to keep getting attacked, but there's really no threat there at all. We don't have to worry about that. We've got 3 trebuchets now, a few skirmishers, but not too many, and just the 1 pikeman. We will get the 2-handed swordsman upgrade, and we'll start producing a few of those. As I don't think they're going to come out and attack us too heavily. I think it will be a fairly defensive game from them. So you can see just how useless the skirmishes are against that particular type of foe. Let's actually get a few upgrades, because we clearly need them. And I would definitely like to mix in a lot of slingers. I'm just a little bit cautious of opposing onagers. They're going to give us some definite bother. Let's move a few of these guys up, and I'm still not sure about our first castle location. I think I will actually send just a skirmisher, just to go check out if there's a better option for a castle drop down on this side. And we'll keep the 2-handed swordsman coming. Champion upgrade is going to cost us a lot more food than what we currently have, so let's keep producing the fishing ships. And I'm hoping they won't get attacked too heavily. I'm hoping that we can keep them focused on this side of the ocean to prevent the castle from being unable to help when the opposing navy does show up, as this looks like a reasonable location for a castle drop. It's actually pretty much right in front of the cisterns. I think we should probably go for that. Let's take our villagers and we're just going to drop them, drop our castle right here. Potentially a little bit too forward, but we'll send our full forces to accompany them, and hopefully they will survive. We'll take a couple of rams too, as we don't have too much for actually dealing with opposing onagers, but this is just far away enough that they might not actually come out of the town to attack us. Okay, we're actually being attacked, but it's just the keep attacking us, and that's completely fine. Not really seeing anything of an actual army there at all. That's a good sign. Have to keep an eye on it. Okay, this village is now done. I'm pretty tempted to actually drop a dock here. I'm not sure how far along that's actually gonna go, the river, I mean. Because... let's get on the other side of that and finish it off. Castle's definitely going to go up completely fine, I'm pretty sure. Halberdiers are on their way. Take the rest of these guys too. And I think we will be safe to send in the trebuchets. Still got lots of free gold. We will send those in, and I'm tempted to risk just a very small number of either onagers or eagle warriors. But castle's gone up, they are all coming out to attack us now, that's completely fine. Let's take our villagers and garrison them. Okay, so we can see that they do have an onager. That on its own is not too threatening. For now we'll just garrison the castle, just until we've taken out this first few waves of opposing units. And we will get the champion upgrade. And we'll keep working on gathering up a little bit more food. Need to be a little bit careful with the fishing ships. I think I would prefer to rely on farming. As okay, they are coming with a trebuchet now. I'm going to focus that down. Castle's handling pretty much everything else. I think a few slingers here would definitely work pretty well, just to make sure we keep that trebuchet group nicely defended.
Let's
get a university so we can get chemistry and finish off that wall with this villager. As looks like we're pretty safe to gather up the stone. They are going to try and send in a trebuchet. I'm pretty sure we have blocked this off though, so it shouldn't actually get through. I'm actually kind of this is pretty stupid, but I'm going to go for it. I'm going to attack the trebuchet with my villager, as we'll soon discover if they can actually get through. Okay, I think they're attacking the outpost, strangely. This is still looking completely fine for us. What a few blue villagers going through. Okay, they have actually... yeah, they are going for the outpost. They're coming at us with a big force. Okay, so that's not going to work. They are going to try and go around the other way instead. That's pretty much what we expected. So they do have the option of attacking the wall, but for some reason the AI just doesn't seem to do that very often. So it looks like they are going to go around. We'll attack this onager. And we have taken some damage here, definitely, with the castle, but we've got so many trebuchets that we can probably start moving in pretty soon. And... not sure what I just did there. Send in lots of skirmishers. And we're pretty low on food. They are just pumping in all kinds of units at the moment, but hopefully champions will deal with the onagers soon enough. I'm not sure if their momentum's actually going to slow down, so we are going to tentatively push in. Onagers are going to be a bit of a risk, so we'll send our archers out. If the skirmishers get hit by an onager shot, I'm not too bothered about that. We'll go and focus down this castle firstly. We can reach it from outside the base, so that's good. Villagers, let's pull them back. Start repairing the castle. And we're going to send the champions forward. just to deal with opposing onagers. If I could find their actual siege workshop, that'd be great. That castle goes down almost immediately, and we can start attacking cisterns. I think we actually have to get into the base before we can do that, from what I can tell, because I can't shoot it. It does look like it's actually... Oh, I see, they're literally called cisterns. There's literally a player on the map called cisterns, so presumably if we just walk up to the fence, or the flag, we will capture the cistern, and I think that will pretty much take this player out of the game. We'll walk towards it and see what happens. Skirmishers will send in. It looks like they've definitely slowed down the siege production. I'm still going to spread these guys out just in case. And we're going to go and have a look for the opposing siege workshop. So a couple of archery ranges there. Still no sign of it, but that's okay. Ah, there it is. Okay, we're going to go focus that down before it can start producing any more onagers, and send in a few more champions too. And we'll take out the barracks. Okay, we're actually doing really well for wood. They are still attacking with just that one trebuchet, but I don't think we have to worry about that too much, although it does actually look like they have actually taken out the wall, so turns out they will actually do that, given a chance. I'm going to actually send a couple of champions, just as a kind of hit squad, to take that out, and I will rebuild the wall, because I think they would definitely attack through there, given a chance. And let's set up a few more farms, so that we're not completely dependent on the fishing ships. Get crop rotation, and auto-reseed the farms. And we'll keep getting the upgrades. So it looks like we've mostly cleared this out. We need to send in a few more forces. Okay, yeah, they are coming through with a big force here. I think, unfortunately, I might actually have to go for defensive castle here, and begin to produce a few halberdiers just to chase down the opposing trebuchet when it shows up, because it is going to come through, I'm pretty sure. Unfortunately, my hit squad of champions has failed to have an impact beyond doing a very small amount of damage to the trebuchet, but we are starting to take this guy out. And after that, there are just two more opposing outposts to worry about. Okay, still being attacked by the navy. Looks like they are going to go for my fishing ships, but Castle will hopefully keep those alive. Trebuchet has unpacked in a very fortunate location that's just going to waste its time. Let's get conscription, and let's send these guys back onto the farms. Okay, still being attacked over here. Mostly by archers, so that's mostly fine. We'll send in skirmishers, and yeah, that's got to be this guy defeated, right? Yeah, okay, so we've taken out one of the opposing orange players. I think we just have to do the same thing at the next two bases. It doesn't look like there's going to be any massive attack coming from the blue player, so we don't have to worry too much about that. A couple of these trebuchets definitely need to be repaired. And unfortunately, I've definitely wasted some resources here. So that wall is clearly not complete. Okay, we'll go finish that off. First we'll send these in. Okay, wow, it actually looks like they are going to come for a big attack. I'm going to have to pull these back. I completely jinxed it, saying they wouldn't come for a big attack. Here we go. Okay, we'll pull back, take all the trebuchets back. Castle should be able to handle everything except the opposing trebuchets. Let's garrison the castle. And looks like we have dealt with the attack. Very minor attack on this side. Still not doing too well for food. Make sure we focus these down. I think the sheer number of troops we have should actually make this fairly doable. Okay, perfect. So hopefully it'll be a little while before they come for another one of those attacks, and we might actually be able to start moving on another opponent, as we do have a ram coming in, and we'll just pull back to the castle with lots of halberdiers. We'll move these guys onto farming. Okay, ram's coming in, we'll focus that down. Pull these back. So yeah, gold situation's still not looking great. We're about to run out, I think, of the actual gold mine we had outside the base. In fact, we already have. We might have to rely on trash a little bit. Do still have quite a few trebuchets. Okay, so they're coming out with a trebuchet. Looks like they're going to attack the barracks. That's fine. When they come towards the castle, we do still have all of these left, and we should be able to deal with them completely fine. We're going to repair a couple of these if we can. Need to be very careful with our gold at this point. We'll let them pull themselves towards us. Pack the trebs. And we will focus them on the opposing treb. Okay, so I'm not sure where exactly these are coming from. I would obviously like to take down the particular orange player who's coming with these, as presumably they do all play out pretty much the same way. I've taken out the opposing treb. Another treb over there. A few other Leicesters, but only the one slinger. I might actually be able to go for a bit of an infantry push. Obviously, skirmishers would be better. There is an Eagle Warrior coming in. I think most likely I'm going to need a couple of extra archery ranges here. Okay, still just being attacked here. I think this castle was pretty pointless in hindsight. There was always that risk that they were going to keep pushing from this side, and theoretically they still could, so we will go and finish off that wall. Guys are done putting up the archery ranges. Let's get a few more skirmishes. And okay, trebuchet is going to take out the barracks. That's fine. We'll put up another couple. We have plenty of wood to spare. And I will produce a few slingers just to deal with the opposing Eagle Warriors, because we don't really have too much to actually take those on. Fishing ships, I think, will get themselves killed pretty soon. And we're going to take our main hero and we're going to drop him in this castle right here, just where we know for sure he'll be safe. Okay, looks like things have slowed down slightly. We're going to start moving Possibly towards this fast cistern. I think that is the next obvious target. We do need a little bit more stone, but we will start to gather stone over here. Let's take these villages and we'll drop them onto there. We should be able to afford another castle pretty soon. Send up some halberdiers and we'll keep producing the skirmishers. If we can get a large enough mass, we might actually be okay to push without completely relying on castle drops, which would be ideal. Okay, still being attacked by purple player, but again, not a serious threat. We'll take out our fishing ships, but I don't actually think the fish are as abundant as the game implied they were, so that's fine. I'm pretty happy to rely on farming here. Take these halberdiers up, and everything seems pretty quiet here, so we are going to start moving now. We probably do need to take out at least one gate to get through. And I think we have just enough stone that we can possibly... not stone, but gold. Just enough gold that we can possibly justify a few champions, which are obviously going to be much better against an Inca player than halberdiers. As... yeah, annoyingly we do have to take out the gate before we can go any further. So we'll go and do that. We'll spread these guys out just in case an opposing onager arrives. And we'll send up a few extra units. This should go down pretty much immediately. And we'll send up our rams as well. Okay, seems pretty clear. Continue to push. Okay, so it looks like we come to a branching path here. We can go to the north or we can go to the east. If we go east, we will obviously meet that cistern. If we go to the north, we'll meet this one instead. Lots of free gold here, which is a good sign. Could actually drop a town centre. Definitely can drop a castle. Right here on the crossroads might actually be a really good location, just to save us from actually attempting to go for two castles, which probably wouldn't be too wise, all things considered. I am going to resist the temptation to start attacking this with my trebuchets, because I think that will draw out a big force, and we want to see if we can put the castle up without that happening. Three villages might take a little while to put it up, but we will continue to produce the units as we're pretty close to the pop cap now, which is a good sign. It looks like the opposing attacks have slowed down. I don't think it's worth the gold cost to go for the elite Uber Warrior upgrade, but we will get a couple of final upgrades from the blacksmith, and don't think we'll bother with keep or with arrow slits, as it's pretty unlikely that the opponents will actually make it through to our starting area. Drop a lumber camper here, and another one here, just so we're nicely spread out. I could go for that gold too, that should be pretty safe now. I think this tower is probably already gone. Still got a few more units we can bring up, as yeah, it looks like that castle is going to go up pretty safely. So we'll start to attack the first few towers. Might be unwise to go for both bases at the same time, but we are in a pretty good location to do that if we want to. Okay, so castle's gone up. We're going to start putting up a town centre. This gold is definitely worth going for. So we've officially hit the pop cap, as yeah, they are coming out with a big force now. Got a couple of rams. I can see a trebuchet back there too. That's fine. We'll focus that down. Let's just absolutely make sure that our infantry can actually get through here to take those out. So the rams are going straight for the trebuchets instead of the castle. That's fine. We can deal with that. They're coming to attack us from the other side too. Okay, it's time to start using the trebs. So one treb is set up there, and we've got one treb set up to the southeast. Villagers might die. We'll try to protect them if we can. So castle should win us this fight. pull all these back. Okay. Lots of opponents coming in, but I think we're handling the trebuchets fine. So yeah, it looks like we are going to end up fighting both bases at once, which is really not ideal, but we'll try and send in as many units as we can. So many scorpions is the issue. They're obviously going to chew through our infantry pretty quickly. Okay, starting to lose troops. This was always a slightly risky location. I think if we can somehow slow them down, we might be okay. Might actually need to start dropping a few nearby barracks. Possibly a siege workshop could work as well. Opposing Trev is still taking down our castle. There are just so many opposing units that it's really hard to actually get close to it. Castle should be able to take out most of these archers in theory. There are just huge numbers of opposing Trebs. It looks like they are mostly focusing on our castle. So I think they might just about be slowing down now. Do have to actually go and repair this castle because it's pretty badly damaged. Still being hit by Trebs. And I might actually go and focus this down. I fear the castle could go down. It's kind of reaching that point. Let's check on an idle villager, and we're going to put up a market just to get a bit of emergency stone. There's a couple of blue Trebs coming in. I fear this could be the death of the castle, unfortunately. We are starting to repair it. But 2 Trebs coming in at once is going to be very tough to fight off. We can almost afford another castle, but annoyingly the first castle is going to go down before we can finish these guys off, as I think the orange player has started to lose momentum, so that's a good sign at least. Still being attacked by the purple navy, but that's fine. Still at the pop cap too. Okay, 2 Trebs have gone down. I'm going to risk sending this Treb up here just to attack from across the river. And we're going to take our villagers and we're going to set up another castle in the exact same place, because I should think they won't be able to go for a second push that will be quite as strong as the first, and so hopefully this time we will survive for long enough. I might not need to use that market just yet. I will start to attack this siege workshop because the siege is particularly annoying to deal with, and I didn't actually notice that stone mine, but that's obviously a pretty big game changer if we can put down our town centre and start working on that. I might actually bring this guy up just to see if we can drop a town centre here instead. That would obviously be a lot safer, but it doesn't look like it quite works, so we will instead go for the original location. And we do have a decent number of halberdiers here. We should be at least semi-competent at taking on the Eagle Warriors to a point. Castle's slowly going up. Should be up pretty soon. We'll start taking down this gate and start attacking the castle too. Bit of extra stone there too, so we should actually be able to afford quite a few more castles once we send up a few more villagers, as this is not an ideal use of our halberdiers. Right, castle's gone up. As I'm pretty sure, similar to previous scenarios, once we start taking down the opposing buildings, they won't put them back up, I'm pretty confident. So I think it's fairly unlikely that they'll come for a serious push again. Try and focus down this barracks, as they don't appear to have too much to actually fight us with here. Now that the castle's up, we're going to drop our town centre. This is a little bit too far forward. I'm not totally confident it's going to be... That's a little bit far from the gold mines, but I think it's worth it just to make sure that opposing trebs do focus on our castle instead of our town centre, because our town centre is not going to be anywhere near as good at defending itself. And... yeah, this guy's definitely slowed down quite a bit. They are starting to attack us from across the river with a couple of ranged units, but that's fine. Castle's going to go down. I will pull this back because it's just going to get destroyed without really accomplishing too much. And with that castle being gone, I'm pretty sure we can just push into this base, and we should be able to handle pretty much anything we find. Even the trash units, I think, will get the job done. So that castle being gone also means we should have a few less opposing trebuchets to deal with. So we'll send in one of our trebs, start taking down the buildings, as it looks like there are pretty much no military units left over here. You have to be a little bit careful of the towers, they are going to chew us up pretty quickly. Skirmishers might be a good choice just to absorb some of that arrow fire. I do have my rams, I think. They might have got killed. Didn't really do too much, but that's fine. Let's start producing some more villagers and let's send these 3 up. Start gathering up the stone, and between these stone mines and the stone mines to the east, we should be able to pretty much afford multiple extra castle drops when we need them, as this is all looking pretty manageable. Let's send the treb in, and we'll just unpack generally in the middle, and that should take out pretty much all the opponents. This treb, I'm pretty tempted to start attacking the southeast, but that might be slightly premature. We'll instead send it in to take out some of this stuff. And let's start producing a few extra halberdiers just in case they come in with more trebs from the east. So I think it does appear that they have pretty much completely slowed down now, and once the 2 outposts are taken out, I think the blue player should be substantially weaker. I will actually check the objectives just to confirm. Yeah, as it says, as long as the city has access to drinking water, it is difficult to take it, but if the Incas succeed in taking control of the Chimú cisterns, it will be easy to conquer Chan Chan. So, sounds like this is pretty much the main challenge over. Alright, let's start attacking on the other side. I think we're pretty safe to do so. We still have quite a lot of population space we can use. Okay, captured another cistern, I'm pretty sure. We've turned the flag to our colour, but apparently they haven't actually been taken out of the game just yet. I think we should be good now to start attacking southeast.
We have captured another cistern.
Possibly gone a little bit overboard with the elite skirmisher production there. Got a casual 50 skirmishers coming in. Let's try and at least get a few halberdiers to help out. We can obviously afford to start producing a few more gold-based units pretty soon, but this does seem to be working so far. I'm not too worried. We should probably focus the gold on trebuchets mostly, as looks like this guy's got pretty much no military left. Let's take out the gate, and then once again we should be good to push in. I am expecting to see at least one castle. He does seem to have stopped producing trebuchets, which might just be because he's running low on gold. But yeah, there should be a castle in there, and we're going to need to focus that now. Let's focus this treb on this tower, and yeah, there is a castle, so we'll start attacking that. It's kind of just filtering in units one by one, so not really much of a threat. So we're up to the Popcat, that's great. Let's actually have a look back at our economy, because we've not checked on it for some time. There is some stone up here. We will tentatively go and start mining that, as that is all of our idle villagers working. We've got a decent supply of both wood and food. They definitely don't need any more villagers. Might actually start deleting a few villagers because we're completely fine in terms of our economy. So we have made it into the opposing base. We should probably hang back until we've actually finished off that castle. Yeah, it's got pretty long range. I think it's best that we just avoid it until the trebuchets have done their thing. Take out the gate, and then we should be good just to push on the blue player. In theory, we should be taking on the Chimú Navy. I just don't see the point. Like, you do get extra resources if you take them out, but we're completely fine for resources. Maybe slightly low on gold, but even then, it's not actually that bad. We should be good just to push on them with the same kind of strategy we've used already. Let's send these to focus down the opposing keep. Actually, quite a few keeps still. Okay, we should have a very large number of skirmishes somewhere. Having queued so many. Ah, we sent them up already. Okay. That was obviously premature. Okay, it's fine. We should just be able to finish this off pretty much with just the trebs, so we will leave the skirmishes up there. And we can start thinking about pushing towards Blue's base. It would be useful to know if there's any more gold around, so there is some gold there. I imagine we could end up spending all the gold. Obviously the blue player has lost enough morale that, or I'm going to call it morale because that's what it was called in the previous scenario. Obviously the blue player has lost enough steam that they are probably not going to put up that much of a fight, I think. Or at least their unit variety might have gone down, similar to the previous scenario where the, I think it was the purple player stopped producing siege.
The soldiers of Chanchan will no longer have access to drinkable water.
When the actual intro for this scenario came on, I was thinking it was kind of harsh that we were going to attack these people who apparently haven't done anything, but to be fair, on watching it back, they did actually mention that Chanchan have lots of slaves, so we shouldn't feel too bad for them. We will go and take them on. These guys can now move over to this gold. And we definitely have too many villages. But none are idle, so I won't delete any just yet. We'll take the remaining few working on this, and we'll send them up to potentially put up a new castle. Okay, so we've actually made it to the blue base already. It's a pretty huge base, clearly. It goes all the way from here to the Wonder up there, but we'll send our troops up, and we should be able to start pushing on that pretty quickly. Obviously, this particular force is not very diverse, and could get taken out by any Eagle Warrior, pretty much. They are coming indeed with lots of Eagle Warriors, so I do have to be a little bit careful here. I'm going to pull these back. As yeah, he's starting to defend himself a little bit more strongly. I should have a few slingers somewhere, so this is really not ideal. Okay, halberdiers are up. Start producing a few more. I can actually afford to go with 3 more castles. That should obviously cover the push extremely effectively. Let's gather up our final few troops and bring them up to help push as well. Okay, he's coming at us with his own troops now. We have to be very careful. Doesn't seem to have lost steam that much, all things considered. Villagers could get killed. I'm going to pull them back. So we're going to need our halberdiers. Okay, this is looking pretty bad. Might actually have to delete the castle just to get our stone back. It's not quite as weak as the previous opponent was. One of our troops has gone down. Okay, let's send the halberdiers to focus that down. They will get killed by the castle, but obviously it's worth it just to not have to worry about that treb anymore. We've got 1 villager left alive here, and then these 3 are still gathering stones, that's all fine. Still at the pop cap. Okay, halberdiers completely failed to take out the opposing treb, but it's got 2 HP left, so we'll go down pretty much immediately. And let's just pull these back. Our extra trebs have arrived, but I think it's a bit too soon. I think we're gonna need to bring our villagers up, just because at least 3 villagers will be needed. I've probably gone a little bit overkill here with this many villagers working on the gold. I'm going to send most of them up to help with the push. And let's start taking out this castle. Doesn't look like they're actually doing too well against our skirmishers, and another obviously very important thing is they don't seem to be producing any onagers, which is potentially going to be quite a big deal. Skirmishers surprisingly good at taking out the opposing treb. Not quite so good at taking on the keep, but that's fine. Let's focus on the actual villagers, or units I should say. The navy is attempting to help out, obviously failing to do anything from the sea. So there are quite a few cameos coming in. Okay. At this point we are going to start producing slingers. Slingers are going to do much better than our skirmishers on average. Might be slightly risky to drop a castle at the moment. We are kind of losing steam. Castle has gone down of the opponent, but it looks like most of our units have been killed. Okay, we're going to have to pull back before our troops get destroyed. And we're just going to attempt to put up a castle. Doesn't really matter too much if this is a slightly unambitious castle. I think that's completely fine at this point. We've got 1,500 gold left in the bank. Unfortunately the trebs probably will go down. I'm hoping that we can survive for just long enough to put this castle up. So I think I must have loads of units somewhere that are just not doing anything. So it looks like they actually took out our villagers who were working on that particular bit of stone. But our units are coming up this way. And although we have lost pretty much all our villagers, I'm pretty sure we won't lose the castle. That's fine. let's get a few extra trebs because we're going to need them now. And let's just produce a few more villages just to finish off the castle. We may have a few more units here that we can use, which we do. I think we're being screwed over by the spawn point a little bit here. But I've managed to make it to their skirmishes with a few halberdiers who are going to completely chew them up. And should now be good. Start rebuilding the castle. And we will once again start to push. So we'll start taking down this keep, and you guys are just going to start attacking over here. There's absolutely no reason to be producing halberdiers anymore, that's a bit of a mistake. Okay, first castle's gone up. That should save us if they do somehow manage to push against us again, but I'm hoping that we've pretty much established ourselves now. Try and take out this gate, and we'll pull all the units back. Actually, let's take out the keep first, of course. We'll go with a very brazen castle, right against their wall. I'm pretty sure that will work. Okay, so they're actually slowly taking out our docks, but that's fine. I should have done this a long time ago, I completely forgot about this tech. Couriers for 2 extra PS armor on our slingers, and then hoardings for the castles to be slightly stronger. Back up to the pop cap. It looks like we've actually made it into the base, but that's probably not actually a good thing because we're just going to get trapped and killed. Let's move up towards our castle so that we're a little bit able to defend ourselves. And we do have 1 treb over here, and I think there should be a few extra trebs to the south, and we can start going for that next castle. We also go for the town centre. Next castle drop. I think we can wait a little while. We can go towards the Wonder. I assume that once the Wonder goes down, that's going to be the end. Okay, so we can see that somehow he still has llamas, but that town centre is going to go down, and I don't think they'll have too much after that. So the fact that he just announced something possibly means that a trigger's been activated and there might be a few more actual defenders now, but I'm still pretty sure that they're not going to be a serious threat at this point. Let's start taking down the gate. Freed up a little bit of pop space, so let's start working on champions instead of halberdiers. So yeah, he's definitely stopped producing siege, so I can pretty much go full archers at this point. Made it into the base as well. Okay, Okay, next castle we can see. There's another town centre to the west. Let's take out that keep. I'm going to send these forward to attack town centre, I think. Another castle to the west, that's completely fine. At this point, castles are not really a threat. We've got enough trebuchets, and he has stopped producing trebuchets himself, so nothing to worry about there. I could also produce Kamyuks potentially, but no one need to. Send these two to take out the remaining HP of the gate. A third town centre, in fact, to the north. But not really seeing what they can do to stop this at this point. Okay, next town centre's gone down, third town centre's about to go down, and I'm pretty sure that's going to be it for their actual economy. Not that it matters too much because they've definitely stopped seriously producing. But you can see how it would have been extremely difficult to take them down if they were at full strength, because obviously they just have so much unit production. They can probably pump out about 5 trebuchets at a time. Not sure if they literally have unlimited resources, but it did feel like the purple player did in the previous scenario, so wouldn't be too surprising if they did. They're still going for the llamas, but that's completely pointless. Castle's going to go down up here, and I suppose we can probably risk a couple of trebuchets to actually start taking down the Wonder, and that should be the end. Okay, one castle's gone down. The castle's gone down there, castle's gone down to the west. You guys are going to take down the keep, which you already are, that's great. Should be good now to push on the Wonder. And if that doesn't end the scenario, I'm not sure what will. I presume that we don't actually need to take down the market in the harbour, but should be completely fine to do that if we do need to. Sending lone skirmishers to deal with our rather large force. That's obviously not going to work out too well for him. We are starting to take down the Wonder. It's going to go down very quickly, in fact, with this number of trebs. Okay, apparently there's no trigger associated with that, so... Oh, I see. I haven't even looked at the objectives this whole time. Okay, so I literally just need to send 15 soldiers up. That's gotta be it, right? Yeah, so it's a...
You are defeated. No one will dare stand in the way of the Inca ever again.
Perfect, okay, so that wasn't actually so bad. I think probably the second scenario of the campaign was the hardest. This was reasonably doable, all things considered. But yeah, we'll see the final cutscene.
The old man was silent for some time, but then addressed me. You have surely heard of the Tawantinsuyu, the realm of the 4 parts. That is what we call our empire, since Tupac Yupanqui succeeded in subjugating the Chimú. The lands to the north, south, east, and west had finally been conquered, and the Inca now dominated the entire region, mountain and valley. Knowing that his son was of equal wisdom and virtue, Pachacuti could die without regret. Now, you know the entire story. The story of the Inca. I hesitated for a moment before asking the old man, "You have told me much indeed, but what was the fate of the 2 generals, Bicaquirao and Abomaita? Surely their story does not end there." The old man beamed at me and laughed before giving his answer. Well, Bicaquirao gave his life in battle and died the most honorable death imaginable. Abomaita was not quite as favored by fortune, however. It is said that having grown older than the hills themselves, he now lives a life of solitude in a stone hut. From time to time, You might find him telling inquisitive travelers tales of bygone times that are so fantastic that they seem almost difficult to believe.
Wild plot twist at the end there, but there you go. That is the Pachacuti campaign completed. I actually really enjoyed that one. It was interesting to go through a whole campaign without encountering a single cavalry unit, and also I don't think we ever encountered an opponent who actually had civilization that wasn't the Inca. But yeah, that's now done. I hope you guys enjoyed. It was definitely a fun campaign, and there will be links to other campaigns in the description if you would like to check those out. But otherwise, thanks for watching guys. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next time.